Imagine you've just received your very first assignment as a holy prophet. The instruction is specific and shocking. Find a woman locally famous for her chronic unfaithfulness and marry her. This is the bizarre starting point for the Book of Hosea. It's the 8th century BCE, and the northern kingdom of Israel is in the middle of a massive economic boom. Under the reign of King Jeroboam II, the upper classes are enjoying a long, comfortable stretch of peace and immense wealth. But underneath the shiny veneer of high crop yields and expanding borders, the society is decaying. The rich are actively exploiting the poor to maintain their lavish lifestyles, and the people have largely abandoned their covenant with God to worship Canaanite fertility idols like Baal. The traditional prophets have been shouting themselves hoarse, and the nation has completely tuned them out. To cut through the noise, God requires something louder than words. He needs a living, breathing spectacle to act as a physical warning. Hosea obeys the command. He marries a woman named Gomer, and over the next several years, she gives birth to 3 children. As each child is born, God instructs Hosea to give them highly specific, ominous names. 2 of those names translate directly to no mercy and not my people. In the ancient Near East, names define identity and destiny. By branding the children this way, God is issuing a direct declaration. Israel has broken the covenant, and he is preparing to withdraw his protection and sever the relationship. Hosea's own family has become a tragic walking billboard. Every time he calls his children in from the street, he is broadcasting Israel's impending doom to the entire neighborhood. Eventually, Gomer does exactly what her reputation suggested she would. She abandons Hosea, runs off with other lovers, and quickly spirals into devastating poverty and personal ruin. The nation is scrambling to make similar moves on a global scale. Rather than trusting God for their safety, Israel's leaders are making desperate, shady political treaties with aggressive foreign empires like Assyria and Egypt. Historically, Israel understood their relationship with God through the lens of a suzerain-vassal treaty, a dry legal contract between a great king and his subjects. But as Hosea experiences the betrayal of his own wife, he begins to use a new vocabulary. He realizes that breaking these divine laws isn't just a breach of contract, it's a wound to a person. Hosea's writing moves God out of the courtroom and into the home. He portrays a deity who in the culture of the ancient Near East, the legal and social expectations for this situation are absolute. An adulterous wife is entirely stripped of her rights. She is expected to be publicly shamed, permanently discarded, or even executed. Instead of demanding retribution, God gives Hosea a command that defies every law and custom of the era. Go find Gomer, bring her home, and love her again. Gomer's situation has become so dire that she has ended up in a slave market. Hosea has to step into public view, endure the stares and whispers of his community, and literally purchase his own wife back from bondage. This action subverts the entire justice system of the 8th century BCE. It introduces the audience to a form of grace that is both unthinkable and deeply costly. Hosea hands over 15 shekels of silver and a measure of barley. He pays the price, takes Gomer by the hand, and brings her home. This physical purchase is the living embodiment of a Hebrew concept called hesed. It means a steadfast, fierce, and utterly loyal covenant love that refuses to let go, even when the other party is entirely at fault. As seen here in this Assyrian relief, hesed doesn't erase consequences. In 722 BCE, the Assyrian Empire violently dismantles the northern kingdom. People lose their land and freedom, dragged into exile. Yet Hosea insists God's love marches with them into captivity. The coming devastation is a period of intense correction. It functions to purge the nation's unfaithfulness so that the relationship can eventually be rebuilt from the ashes. The entire message of the book is distilled into one famous decree in chapter 6, where God tells the people, "I desire mercy, not sacrifice, and acknowledgement of God rather than burnt offerings." The Israelites had been trying to buy God off with expensive animal sacrifices, while continuing to exploit the poor and worship other idols. God makes it clear that the outward motions of a religious ritual are worthless without an authentic, faithful heart. Hosea removes the idea that God is a transactional deity. The story shows a love remaining constant, even when the moral record is completely broken. Divine love, in this view, is a relentless, unconditional force. It is a love that will endure the pain of betrayal, pay the steepest price, and pursue humanity into its darkest, most broken places, just to bring it home.